Manchester, England, a mecca of music and sport, a place to express the skills you've been taught, the pride and determination that sets you apart, and on July 28th it's the turn of mixed martial arts. As the UFC rolls into town, we know England's finest will be ready to go. Will an Edwards head kick make Bilal fall? Is it time to right a wrong for Big Tom Aspinall? Paddy the Baddy takes on a newly crowned king, where a ranking awaits him should he get the win. Will it be a title shot on the cards for Mo Mokaev as he squeezes out Manel Kap's last breath? These questions will be answered and a whole lot more. Welcome to Manchester, UFC 304. We are the No Bones Podcast, and this is your preview show. Right then, lads, so it's been a minute since we've been here talking for a while. We've been on holidays, we've been watching other sports, which we don't need to talk about here now, but well, we're back together, we're back in the hop, our home, and we have been releasing a couple of Meet the Fighter series. We've spoke recently with Adam Bramhall, Shamrock, Robbie Kennedy, a few there. Check them out, guys, if you haven't already checked them out. Have a look, go back, they're all over YouTube and Spotify and all your usual places. But today we are here to talk about UFC 304 coming into Manchester. Next week it should be, by the time this is released, or later on this week, one of the two. But yeah, we're here to talk about that. How did you like the poem, by the way? Was it all right? We did one for UFC.
I thought it was really
did
good.
one for UFC 300 and we got some good feedback from that, so I thought we'd give it another go. We'll see how it goes. Let us know if you like them, guys, or if you don't and you just think I'm a bit of a dick.
Them up,
let me know that
keep
as
them
well.
Coming.
I'm sure you won't be too shy on that. So yeah, we're here to talk about UFC 304 and the main event we will start with, which is Leon Rocky Edwards finally getting it on with Belal Muhammad. It seems like a fight that has been a long time in the making. Since Leon became champion, really, Belal's been shouting him out, and trying to get this fight. I think he fancies his chances, but do you think he's got a chance? Chris, Rich, do you think Belal's got any chance against Leon?
I'll let you start.
He's got a chance. I mean, his record's been pretty good over the last, 7-8 years.
You think he's underrated, don't you? You think Belal's an underrated?
He's slightly underrated, yeah.
Because he's a bit dull, or the perception is he's a bit dull. But if you've just made the point to us there, he's got a pretty good record if you look down at his victims, let's say.
Yeah, he certainly has, yeah. I mean, he's been slagged off plenty for his boring type of style.
But I think that might be a bit undeserved, don't you think? Because it's not that boring, really. It's just that he...
Just a grappler.
Yeah, he doesn't finish that much often, doesn't he?
Well, I think that's the problem, innit? All his fights seem to go to a decision, pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
All there, it's either in round 3, round 5, he gets all the way to end.
He's got one really impressive one against Brady, which were a couple of fights back.
Yeah, a couple of fights back against Sean Brady.
He actually finished Sean Brady. He were on a bit of a tear. He lost a couple early on in his career, then he seemed to turn his career around, and that was a big win for, I think, Belal.
It got Belal performance at night, something that he doesn't get often, which kind of backs up the claim that he's not that interested in a fighter. But that Sean Brady performance...
He can't win, can he, Belal?
No, he's on to a bit of a lose.
He's just one of them. He just rubs people the wrong way.
I think I think if people don't absolutely love you or absolutely hate you, then you do struggle to tread water a bit somewhere in the middle, don't you?
Yeah. And to be fair, he's been waiting how many years for his shot?
Yeah.
So it's well deserved. Nobody can behold him that. 100%. He's definitely next in line.
Yeah, he's up there. He's ranked number 2 at welterweight division at minute. Kamaru Usman's just the one that's just a bit above him, but Kamaru needs to decide which division he's fighting in if he's going to fight again. And Belal, he's got the 3rd most decision wins in UFC history, so that sort of tells you where he's at and what his fight style is like. Whereas Leon, at the moment, he's fucking headshot dead people all over the place and stuff like that. He's himself an inactive fighter.
Yeah, we've mentioned it before. I mean, on a previous podcast, we actually got into it that Leon, obviously we back him, he's British. We're well behind him. We're happy he's a champion. He's got some brilliant highlights, but he's very inactive as well. So, and with these two, they're not great on camera, are they? So,
I think Leon is getting better lately. You know what?
Whereas
recently, I watch him. He's improving.
Leon does his talking at Octagon, doesn't he?
He's a quiet guy, and we met him ourselves at an Octagon event last month that we were covering. We met Leon there. I mean, he was cornering a fight called Akon Wanless, and he was very much leaving the limelight onto Akon, which was the right thing to do. So Leon, he wasn't speaking to people that much and that, but you could see the persona there, couldn't you see? He's a quiet guy. He's a guy that keeps himself to himself. And I mean, like I say, on that night, the correct thing, he didn't want to be taking the shine away from the guy that he's cornering. But yeah, he's a bit like that, and he finds it a bit of a struggle to sell fights, doesn't he?
Yeah. So I think the reason white public are a bit peeved about this fight, it's like it's not doing note for them really. No. With standings in that division, that needs to happen 100%. But it's like, even for me, why didn't they make this at UFC 300 when they were busting a gut? Because the UFC know it's probably not a big sellable fight, is it?
Yeah.
That's not that couldn't just be an headliner and it'd be like a mediocre undercard. And I don't think it'd sell that much.
No, it's probably why we've got a big co-main on it, which we'll get onto shortly anyway. On
coming over to the UK, obviously, with Leon's following.
But I think that's where the problem is, because nobody really wants to see Leon against Bilal. Everyone wants to see Leon against Shafkat, don't they? Everyone wants to see that. Everyone wants to see that.
I mean, Leon's already calling other people out. He's doing his little call for Conor McGregor now. Conor's hooking up there at welterweight, and he's got them cash signs on there, giving a little. If he ever comes back and ever fights,
I think little Chandler might have something to say about that.
I think
he's been waiting 5 years.
Yeah, only 5, man. Fucking hell, it feels like he's been waiting.
I can't believe that Chandler is still waiting. It's a bit mind-boggling, that to me.
So yeah, I think me as a fight fan, I'd prefer to see Leon Edwards against Shavkat. I think that's such a tasty matchup. Is that?
I think Shavkat's next, and he's got to be.
I would think so, yeah. But Ian Gary's playing up well.
Ian Gary, man, yeah, and they've got that little bit of history on him from last year with Jim at Renegade and stuff like that, with Gary and Edwards and stuff. I'm sure he's going to be wanting to get his title.
What we need to touch on though, with especially we need to mention this with these two. They've got previous, haven't they? Mm-hmm. Were it 2 years ago? 2022, the fought. 2021. Yeah. I'm not sure if that were at bloody Apex. I might anyway, but.
It was a fight night, yeah.
It was an Apex.
There were a bit of bad. I mean, leading into that fight, there were a bit of bad blood between them. I don't know where it stemmed from, but when they faced off with each other, they didn't touch gloves. Bilal didn't even look at him. So they have got history from.
I think that's Bilal's thing. He just rubs people off again.
In first round, I watched it back today. It was definitely Edwards' round. He were pretty much on feet. Bilal would come out pretty strong, and he was trying to stand up with him, which is probably a bad idea. And he were piecing him up a bit. He caught him. I think. I'm not sure if it were Herb Dean, but Herb Dean warned him for using his fingers because he does it a lot. Leon, for distance. Yeah. And he caught him once, and he got like he wanted an official warning, but he just mentioned it to him. Then going into the second round, he hit him with a body shot, and he did say him again, but it was a terrible eye injury. It's one of the worst ones I've actually seen.
Yeah, this is really completely accidental.
You could hear him; he was screaming. His eye immediately shut up and swelled up. And after that, there's been more and more bad blood by Leon's head coach coming out and saying, if your eye's that bad, why won't you go to hospital after? Because apparently he didn't go to hospital.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question though, isn't it?
But while watching that video, there's no 100% he did him some damage. Yeah. So whether it's just rumours or...
whether it's sustained damage where it's going to go a long time, or there's difference in there whether you're going to be able to see in a couple of hours or whether you're going to be able to stand up and fight against a world fucking champion like with one eye, you know what I mean?
Leading up to that, there were quite a lot of pressure on these two because I think even on lead up to that, they were both pretty inactive as well. Yeah. And that was for like a title eliminator.
Yeah.
So there were a lot going into that fight, and with what happened with eye poke and back and forth slag matching and all this type of stuff, it's built up into this fight. So it'll be interesting. I think people are actually underestimating Bilal though.
Yeah, man, he's a fighter who's been in UFC since 2016 as Bilal.
He's training with Nurmagomedov now as well, Khabib.
Khabib has cornered him before, I believe.
Yeah.
He cornered him before.
And I think that's why people now are singing his praises, and I can understand it as well, because Khabib finds the way how to get to strikers, doesn't he? Very, very well.
Yeah, but he won't bad at it.
Yeah, he won't bad at it, and I think he'll teach the thing of you, Bilal. But on the other hand, Leon, he's no slouch in wrestling as well.
He just looks good. He looks fire at the minute. He's 32-year-old. I think he's at prime of his powers. Bilal's like 36 now. He's sort of coming towards and quite inactive recently. He's only had one fight in the last 2 years, and like I say, Leon seems to be in his prime. I really do fancy Leon for it.
So you're intrigued with me. Usually when they go to Dagestan, they're not going to train striking.
No.
You can go anywhere in America, Europe for that. He's going there to improve probably his wrestle, which he was already a good grappler and wrestler anyway. So it's going to be interesting because Leon's last couple of fights, or probably last 3 of them,
Kamaru's not a bad
Kamaru's been a brilliant wrestler. Former, I'm not sure what if it was collegiate wrestling or what, but he did really well.
Yeah, and former pound for pound.
And on top of that, Cody Covington, but a really good wrestler as well. And Leon Edwards has actually took them both down and actually got better of him in wrestling. So probably that's why Bilal's going to Russia or Dagestan to do a bit.
And how we all enjoyed that Cody Covington victory of Leon Edwards. We did, and let's hope that he gets another fucking ass kicking next time he fights.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of next time they fight though, should Leon get through this? I believe he should. I mean, let's not sleep on Bilal. Like we said, he's had 14 wins, 3 losses, 1 no contest in UFC against very good decent level opponents. This guy is a serious guy. He's ranked number 2 at welterweight division. But we're English. Leon's English. We fancy Leon anyway. Well, we'll find out for sure if everybody does at the end. So if Leon goes through, who do we think it's going to be next? Do we all just think it's got to be Shavkat?
I think it's got to be Shavkat, yeah.
Ian Gary might have something to say about that as well.
Yeah, unless Shavkat has a fight in the meantime and doesn't come through it, but he looks like the one. I mean, Jack Daniel Madeleine is making his way that decision. But
third fight title defense as well.
Yeah, one against Kamaru, one against Colby.
Do you know, statistically, I was wondering how many times usually fighters defend the title before they lose?
It should be. I mean, before moving up, we've had that conversation before as well. For me, it should be at least 2 or 3 times at least.
Yeah.
No, I understand that, but I mean, do you know, usually people don't defend their titles more than 2 or 3 times. Eventually, they'll lose.
And Silver, doesn't
it? Yeah, weight division. Yeah, if you look at bantamweight, what an Aljo record, we about 3 defenses.
Demetrius Johnson, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think he had bloody over 10. I think he was
9 or 10. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a good fight. I'm saying I think it'll be a good fight. I'm hoping it'll be a good fight. To be honest. I mean, it's got a lot to follow.
Stylistically, it's not a good fight. I'll be honest, it's not. Because Belal, he won't do the same thing. If he's stupid, and he's not stupid. So he won't stand in front of him, no chance.
No.
So he'll try to take him down. For that reason, I think, at least this is what I think, that Leon should stay in middle as much as he can. Just don't go against the cage. Just stay in the middle.
Stay away from cage walls.
Yeah, just stay away from cage, and then that kind of disarmed Belal a little bit. But I think still Belal will try to wrestle him as much as he can because he knows in stand-up he doesn't stand a chance.
Belal needs to mix it up, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he can't just wrestle because he's a good wrestler. Edwards.
Yeah,
he needs to mix it up. Make it dirty.
He's not just a striker, Leon Edwards. Is he? He's got game. He's got wrestling game as well. Like a lot of it, you know.
He was taking. His last few opponents down.
On purpose.
On paper, were better wrestlers than him. So he's more all-rounded, isn't he? Than Belal.
Yeah, I mean,
he's like a sniper on feet as well.
He is, and them kicks, mate, them head kicks, as we saw with Kamaru Usman, is there. And obviously, there is the potential if he gets through this. If Shavkat, like we said, might be next one, but Islam Makhachev's going to be looking at this welterweight division soon.
Yeah,
he's going to be looking to be champ. Is Islam?
That's his plan at least. Yeah, that's what he said very clearly. He said that this is his goal. Yeah, that would be a fight.
A bigger, good striker like Leon up against Islam. I think that'd be interesting.
Be very good.
Imagine this. So
Islam's striking is very good as well.
Imagine Leon now defends this against Belal, then defends against Shavkat, which that would be, I think, tall order because Shavkat is.
Yeah, he's
one tough motherfucker. Isn't he
looks top shelf to Shavkat.
Yeah, and then.
Islam.
Yeah, against Islam. That would be
It would, but maybe we're getting a little bit carried away with the future matchups there, but it's one. Dana, if you're listening, I know you do, religiously.
Yeah.
That's one to make eventually. But we will move on now to the co-main event. The main event, let's be honest. Come on, everybody. We'll have Leon, and it's a fight there to be had.
Heavyweight champ should be headlining, surely.
Yeah, well, I think if that word interim wasn't there, I think he would be headlining, don't you? But because it's interim.
What, in his own town as well?
Well, yeah, that's that. Yeah, he's in Manchester.
I don't know. No, how do you match this though? So he's heavyweight champion, but he's kind of new heavyweight champion, and then Leon, he's like a veteran. So who do you put forward?
It's got to be Leon because
it's got to be Leon no matter what. It's got to be Leon.
Aspinall's the interim champion.
Yeah,
Leon. But I mean, even if Aspinall wouldn't be interim, if he would be heavyweight champion, but he's a new heavyweight champion.
Definitely heavyweight.
Even though that Leon is.
Definitely.
I think if it were undisputed belt, I think he'd be at top of the list.
Because heavyweights rule, mate. Everyone knows that in combat sports.
I guess so.
It does, and in particular because it's in this country and Tom's from Manchester area as well. I think. I think that if he were undisputed champ, I think that's.
He should be, isn't he?
Well, yeah.
Am I missing something here?
Yeah, he is.
Let's get on to it anyway. Fuck that.
Yeah. So Tom Aspinall is coming up against Curtis Blades, the only guy that has got a W against Tom Aspinall in the UFC, but anybody who knows anything about UFC or saw that fight, that's not exactly a legitimate W. Well, I suppose technically it's a little legitimate W, but it lasted 15 seconds. Tom went down injured, unfortunately. Nothing really happened in the fight before. I've heard some people saying that Curtis Blades were dominating him, but how much can you fucking dominate someone in 5 seconds before he goes down? You know,
Who said that? Was that John
nonsense.
Jones that said that, by the way?
Yeah.
Probably,
I'll fucking lever him if I see him. but yeah, so you know, you can't really take anything from that first fight at all. People are saying that Curtis Blades, that we're getting better of him, but no way. And these we were talking about earlier, these UFC maths don't work. You know what I mean? People think Blades is going to be an hard opponent for him, but you know, he lost to Sergei Pavlovich, who Tom took out quite easily, but Pavlovich beat Volkov, and then Volkov's beat Pavlovich, and then it's all the UFC maths. It don't really work. We don't know, just because one guy beats somebody, it don't mean they're going to beat the next guy. And it's an interesting fight to see how Tom will do against someone like Curtis Blades. He's a bit of a different fighter, but do we give him any shot, Curtis Blades, or do we think Tom's just going to...
Can we just deviate a little bit? What the fuck's Cyril Gane doing?
Yeah.
Because
UFC
wanted to make that fight.
Well, that is
Tom Aspinall wanted to make that fight. He's only flying across from Paris or from France to Manchester. Logistically, it's a lot better.
It's into new type of fighting. Blades
is a good guy, but by all means, him and Aspinall actually get on well. I've seen interviews where he said, "I've had a beer with him. He's a stand-up guy. Not a bad word to say about him." Everybody wanted that fight, but he's shooting fucking.
You're right. Even UFC didn't he come out this week and said even UFC wanted Aspinall versus Gane, but Gane turned it down for.
A movie, yeah.
And you know,
TV
18 months ago, what a year or so, a year, 18 months ago, Cyril Gane what were he saying to Aspinall?
Oh, he's saying that he wanted his league.
He says,
I'm not interested.
You're not high enough. You're not high enough.
Yeah, he goes, you're not up to my level.
Yeah.
He's a pussy, isn't he?
Cheese eating.
I actually like him. I do like Cyril Gane, actually. I like his style.
I do. I don't think he's a bad guy. I like this.
It's a bit, you know what? You call him for a guy, and then you get offered him, and then you turn it down probably more than once.
He was more than once
as well, so he might be able to negotiate a little bit. UFC wanted it, everybody wanted it apart from him.
But there's probably another reason why he didn't want that smoke, because Tom's going fucking on a charge always at top anyway, we believe.
And let's face it,
he's already there. For me,
he tried this. Aspinall was asking for this for what now? For a year and a half?
Mm-hmm.
Is it year and a half? So what, is he shooting a movie for a year? Who shoots a movie? What movie is that? I want to know, how big is that movie? What, 4 hours long? Or what the fuck is it, a year and a half?
No idea. But
because
one thing's for sure, no fucker's going to watch
for
it.
that immediately after win, didn't he? He wanted it immediately, simple as that.
He did. I mean, it's been unlucky for Tom, and let's be honest, with the whole Miocic stuff and fucking John Jones stuff, and Dana absolutely sticking to the fact that they are definitely going to fight, and he refuses to strip John a title. I mean, I don't understand why he don't take the title off him and still have that fight. What's the difference? You know, anybody else, he would have been stripped of that title by now. Conor McGregor was stripped of his title when he took that sort of length of time out. Other people it's happened to as well. And I do feel a bit for Tom, man. And I mean, and he had that year out with injury, obviously, post the last Curtis fight.
He was reborn when he come back after the injury.
Yeah, that Marcin Tybura fight made short work of him. Pavlovich, who were fucking storming
Pavlovich on short notice when you've hardly trained.
He was storming up that heavyweight rankings when, you know what I mean? He wiped him out.
Pavlovich is the most dangerous man at UFC. And that's what I've said to you guys before. If you look at that heavyweight division, apart from them two old bastards that are, you know, holding it up a little bit, the legends, don't get me wrong, I'm massive fans of both of theirs.
Yeah.
But Aspinall has pretty much worked his way through that top 10 already.
Yeah.
So for me, it's for Jones to come out and say, "Oh yeah, he's not a champ, and who's he fought?" Well, who's Jones fought heavyweight?
Exactly.
He's fought Cyril Gane, who's a brilliant.
He's had one heavyweight
matchup
fight
for him. Cyril Gane and John Jones is perfect for him, because what is Gane's grappling or wrestling like? It's
non-existent.
Exactly. He's a striker. He's a very good striker.
Yeah.
When we watch that, if it stays on feet, you'll see a good fight. As soon as it's ground, that's game over.
Jones were never going to let it stay on feet, though, were he?
But I don't know how he's slagging Aspinall's resume off as an heavyweight when every single fight Aspinall's had has been heavyweight. He's a natural heavyweight.
But you're trying to make, you know, common sense out of it, and there isn't any. It's just, you know, it's a fire, you know, firing back. That's all it is, really.
It is. Do we think that Tom will ever fight John, or do you reckon
I
both
think so.
Stipe and John retire after
I don't think
fight
so.
in 2024?
I think John has another fight up his
Jones
sleeves.
were in Australia a few months ago, and he said that it all depends on how he comes to that Stipe fight.
Yeah.
I think John Jones wants to fight Alex Pereira rather than Tom Aspinall, though, because I think he thinks he can beat
Oh,
Pereira.
yeah, I would bet on that as well.
I think he thinks he beats Pereira,
Yeah,
but I'm not
I
sure
would
about
agree
it.
on that every day of the week.
It will not
I
surprise
said
me.
it even before we first started doing this. Aspinall, I've never seen nothing like him in heavyweight division ever.
Yeah.
Well, get this.
I've
The
never
least
seen
he's got the least amount of bottom time in UFC is 1 second. Aspinall in UFC since he spent 1 second on bottom on floor in his whole UFC career. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty.
So people ain't taking that fucking guy down, you know. And he's got shortish average fight time in UFC history, 2 minutes 10 seconds. That's his average fight time. Nobody's ever short of, and that performance at night in virtually every single fight that he's had, apart from Curtis Blades one, which what a shower, you know what I mean, because of injury, unfortunate injury stuff. Like it's crazy, and I genuinely think John's really scared, and I think if he does fight again, I think he'll be looking for Pereira.
See, I disagree. I don't think Jones is scared of anybody. I really don't think he is.
Maybe scared's wrong word, but not scared of the man, but scared of his record being
I
lost.
don't even think it's that. I just think he's more interested to fight legends rather than anybody else. He just wants people to. On his resume, he wants people with a massive resume, and I think that's what he's after.
What
I don't think he's scared of anyone.
Most people are probably, 99% of people would say that Jones is best MMA fighter of all time.
Yeah.
And same set of people would probably say that Stipe is probably best heavyweight of all time in UFC.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally get
for
why.
me,
So I think that's
it is
the
a
reason.
great matchup, but where it gets a bit sour is when it's holding division up.
It was a great match 5 fucking
And where
years
you
ago.
get
Let's be
an
right.
heavyweight, defend an interim title.
Yeah, but
Which
at this
don't make
point, I'm
sense,
not
does
sure
it?
who is holding this division more.
Let me just finish.
Sorry,
They,
go on, mate.
that's Stipe and Jones fight. They could sell that every day week anyway. It ain't got to be for the title.
No.
If one of them has fought once in 4 years and one hasn't fought in the last 3 or 4 years, they're so inactive. So for me, Aspinall should be champion. That fight next weekend should be for that belt. And then winner of them two, if they feel up to it, can fight straight away. Nobody'd argue with that.
Yeah, fuck belt
Where it
again,
all
yeah.
gets murky is it's all politics within it. Dana
Yeah.
White coming out and saying that's happening regardless.
So yeah,
And if that were for anybody else other than John Jones, that wouldn't be happening. I'm telling you.
so
now.
but that's my point. Then who is holding this belt more than Dana or Jones?
Dana, probably.
Because if Dana would really want it, he would take it away.
Well, it's his
I don't
decision,
think he
innit?
wants to take it away very much. He wants to keep it
Well,
because
would you want to tell John Jones you're taking your belt off him?
not really, no.
So that last woman that asked for a piss test nearly got shot in the face. So.
She probably got fucking punched.
Yeah,
He don't like women anyway, does he?
no. Doesn't like his wife either. No.
Bring it, John.
Delete that. Fuck me.
We're editing this, right?
I'm going to put my t-shirt on as well.
We love you really, John. Just in case.
Yeah.
So yeah, where were we anyway?
We're on about how Tom Aspinall is going to wipe out Curtis Blades, man. Number 4 heavyweight Curtis Blades, interim champ Tom Aspinall. We all know what he's done recently since he's come back from injury. Curtis Blades, he's got some good opponents on his card, on his resume, stuff like that. But
I just made a quick note here
I
though.
just think Tom's a level above.
Oh yeah, he's a
But
different
I
level.
still think he's a hard opponent that everyone makes out to be. Everyone thinks that it's a walk in the park, and I don't think it is.
No,
I don't think it is at all.
But he probably will beat him in first round, you know.
It's possible. I'm not.
Let's
I'm
not
not
forget
gonna
Derek
say
Lewis
no.
has beat fucking...
Well, I'll make some.
Curtis
I made a
Blades
few
as well,
notes, believe it or not, if I can read them.
Yeah.
Well done.
2 or 3 fights that Blades has lost was Ngannou twice, was both TKO. Was Lewis and Pavlovich all TKO or KO,
Yeah.
which are all power punchers. And what is that? What was Aspinall do?
Power punch.
He's a bigger
So to
power
me-
puncher than every single one of them.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm not sure about Ngannou, but you know.
Yeah.
But he's got the speed, he's got the accuracy, athleticism. He's an all-round martial artist, isn't he? Curtis Blades is a good wrestler.
Yeah.
And what I loved about Curtis Blades is what he did to Gelton Almeida a few months ago.
Fuck.
Yeah.
We were cheering, weren't we?
No, yeah. Hats
He
off
was
for
trying
that,
to sniff crotches all night, wasn't he? And he just hammer-fisted him and, you know...
But to be honest, if I'm being brutally honest, from looking at it from rather than from a Tom fan point of view, but from an MMA point of view, I would like Curtis Blades to get a little bit of, success with his wrestling because we haven't seen Tom's yet. Apparently, he's fucking brilliant at wrestling, but we ain't seen it much yet.
You've just said that he's only spent a second on his back.
That's it. He's on his
UFC career.
So we don't see it much. So it'd be nice to see Tom's fucking skills on floor, wouldn't it? Maybe if it went to round 2 or 3 or something like that, rather
Well,
than
you
him just
don't know.
knocking
He
him out
might
in a
do
minute.
it because Curtis Blades, he'll do his own work.
Mm-hmm.
as much as there's not much homework there. Well, it's all first round finishes, but he'll think, you know what, I need to, ride this first round out and then see what happens next.
I can't see him. He won't be rushing in, will he?
Yeah.
Probably try and keep his distance.
So I'm almost betting that there will be a second round.
Takedown.
Because why would you? You just,
No, there might.
It's going to be interesting.
There
haven't been like a bad word said about leading into this fight after the first one. It was frustrating with the first one. Aspinall did his leg in.
Yeah, well, nobody's fault. It's just one of these things, unfortunate things.
It wasn't a result of a kick or anything like that. It
was just weird when you saw he just fell.
He had injury going into it as well. He's come out and said that it wasn't just the injury that sustained while they were fighting. It was actually maybe not a reoccurring one, but it was a niggling injury before.
Well, I'm for one looking forward to that fight. We always look forward to it when Tom fights, and hopefully he's gonna add another notch to his record, another big notch to his record, and then we'll see where that takes him, whether it takes him to John Jones or Stipe Miocic or Alex Pereira, who knows, but we shall keep an eye on that heavyweight division altogether. So moving on to the next fight is a mad little scouser you might have heard of called Paddy the Baddy Pimlet.
Who's he fighting, Rich?
He's fighting a mad little yank who you might have heard of called newly called
King Green.
Bobby Green.
King Green. He's changed his name now to King, King Bobby Green. Number 15 in the lightweight division. Paddy, as we know, he's not ranked yet, but he's finally getting his shot against a ranked opponent, and he will end up in them rankings if he beats him. And that's where Paddy says he's going to get himself to. And what do we think? Do we think Bobby Green's got it in to stop him? Sorry, King Green, has he got it in to stop him?
I think he definitely has got it in to stop him.
I think so.
He's not a bad fighter, is he, Bobby Green?
No.
I would argue he's better striker than Paddy. I would argue that.
I think
striker-wise, probably.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, UFC 300, Bobby Green against Jim Miller. I'll tell you what, Bobby Green was impressive.
Yeah.
He was impressive against Grant Dawson as well, a couple of fights before.
And Jim Miller, he's not a slouch either. Do you know what I mean?
He's about 95, but he's not
95. He might have found he didn't move his head off that middle line.
What about Bobby Green's record as well?
Bobby Green's 37 years old.
Yeah, and what's his record? Is he how many fights? He had 27 or something.
He's been in there a long time.
Yeah, a silly amount of fights.
He's entertaining though. And this is a fight that's...
No, I think you're thinking of Kanye West, who he looks like.
No. You used to get one at Card.
That's Jamie Foxx.
Oh,
yeah.
I ain't messing with no broke. Nope, best not say that.
Anyway. Were you married to Kardashian or?
Oh, Bobby Green. He does look like him though, doesn't he? He really does look like Kanye. Which I suppose it's not a bad thing.
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to this is build up to it. I think
once our press conference
build up might be arguably as good as fight because these two won't behind camera.
Yeah,
the
press conference will be magic just because of them two.
Manal Cap's on there as well, and he's a fucking mouthy little bastard, and also I think he'll have something to say, mate.
Last time he was mouthing Adesanya, didn't he?
Squaring up to Izzy Adesanya. What a fucking melon!
He would sit down and fucking choke.
Is his welterweight on top of his game?
Middleweight.
Sorry, middleweight. Yeah, what am I on about? Middleweight on top of his game.
There's a little flyweight man on cap fucking slagging him off.
57 kilos.
It looked like his son, didn't it?
Fucking madness.
Running up to, is it?
I mean, you've got to admire balls on him, like, to be fair, but fucking Jesus Christ, stay in your lane, man.
Do you know what it looked like, Tom and Jerry? Jerry trying to, fight Tom. Like, come
squaring
here,
up to
motherfucker.
I listened to some work that Bisbing did with him, like an interview, and he spent a bit of time with him, and he said he's a nasty little bastard, that guy. Honestly, he says he's a good fighter and he's wild, but he's a nasty little fucker.
Yeah.
He's one of these,
attitude and that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyway, he's next. But yeah, we'll get on to him in a minute. Paddy, what do we reckon? Paddy, I think I'm going to have my little say on Paddy the Baddy. Yeah, I think he's had a bit of a bad rep after that Jared Gordon fight. Watching his recent documentary on BBC, it became clear he had to have a full ligament ankle rebuild from injuries sustained in round 1 against Jared Gordon. He still managed to get that victory. Whether it were a legitimate one or not, a lot of people didn't think that he deserved it. Maybe he got a bit of dynamite privilege for that victory in particular. But the fact that he had to spend a year out and then get a full ankle ligament rebuild shows you that it was a genuine fucking injury. Then he come back and he was impressive, particularly in round 1 against Tony Ferguson. He should have finished him off. It was unfortunate that he didn't get to
He said he blew his load a bit, didn't he?
No, he was struggling after because
he was gassing out, wasn't he? He was gassing out.
He did dominate him.
He did. Against a fighter like, I know Tony's on fucking wind down, like, but Jesus, I think I was really impressed with where he came back, and I was happy for him as well. I mean, I know he's a decisive figure, he's Paddy, like, but you know,
I think he gets unfair criticism. I do. I think he does a lot in the city of Liverpool. We interviewed one of his training partners, Shamrock, didn't we? A couple of months back.
Nothing but high praise.
And
from
he
Shamrock
was saying he's a great kid, and that he probably gets wrong end of stick up media sometimes.
He does. I mean, yeah, probably says the wrong thing, or you know, he bounced into UFC, didn't he? And he was like, I'm fucking big, I'm Paddy the Body.
It needed that though. It needs that.
Yeah, because that sells stickers at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, it sells stickers. This stuff. So if you sell tickets, you make money. It's not only. But with Paddy, it's not only about fighting. It's business as well. At the end of the day, making money out
for
of
sure.
it.
But Paddy, that people maybe don't know or seem to forget, is that he was selling that Echo Arena out years
Cage
before
Warriors,
he went UFC, selling it out in Liverpool. So it was already a big deal.
Yeah.
So
and people don't realise all charity work and stuff like that. Because everybody just goes off the clips that the week leading up to fight night. They go off that, and he comes across as a bolshy scouser and stuff like that, and people don't like that. But man, if you look a bit deeper into Paddy Pimut, man, he's a sound guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I've got some time for him, and I hope he does well. And I hope he beats fucking King Bobby Green. I mean, I like Bobby Green as well. He, like you say, he's an entertaining fighter.
Yeah.
But I'd like to see Paddy at rankings, and it'd be interesting to see where he went next. I know there's Moicano and stuff like that, people above him that have already been calling him out for money and stuff like that, but Moicano next is fighting Benoit Saint-Denis.
Yeah.
in France.
Yeah. So I think the loser of that maybe would be a good fight for Paddy next.
Yeah, well
If I were being really honest, if I were Paddy, I'd be staying away from Benoit Saint-Denis for at least another couple of years.
That's
We'll have to see how he comes back from.
Is he 28?
29
Is he
Paddy.
28,
28,
29?
28, I might be 29 now, like if you checked it.
I think also as well with Paddy,
fact checked it, yeah.
Also with Paddy, people look at him bouncing about, long hair, Scouse accent, chirpy,
Do you know why he says he does that though? Again, leaning onto that thing, he says he does the long hair and the no tattoos and stuff like that. He says so kids can relate to him more and stuff like that. That's another softer side to him that you don't see.
That's cool,
He didn't want to look like a skinhead and tattoos and all that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
What we're trying to say though is we out his persona and how he is and how he looks and how he comes across. And with that Barstool Sports deal he got, $1 million, it's like he's done a lot in such a short space of time, and he's so out. And people look at I think people they underestimate his game as well because of how he looks and comes across. Oh yeah, he's almost underrated.
I think it happened with Conor McGregor, and it happens with Sean O'Malley as well, because they've got them big personalities. People underestimate how good a fucking fighter they actually are. You know what I mean?
I think
the personality outshines the talent, so to speak.
My opinion about Paddy is, I think he's good on ground, and I think he has decent stand-up skills, but I don't think he's brilliant at any of them, and I think that's where he falls short.
He's more of a grappler than a striker, isn't he?
He probably is.
Oh, definitely, and I think there will be a ceiling for him. Don't get me wrong, I like him, and I think there will be a ceiling for him, particularly in this lightweight division. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to get up there to be challenging.
He's a big boy as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's not like he's going to be cutting any weight to move down Paddy.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is not brilliant, and I'm not saying
a hell of a lot of weight to get to that weight. So
he goes from about 28 stone to about 12 stone between each fight. So.
He's a very good grappler, so maybe I'm not giving him enough credit. I don't think he's as good as the top 5. Let's say.
Well, that remains to be seen, Rich, doesn't it? You know, what I mean, we won't know that until he starts fighting.
How
that
many
type
people in the
so,
world are as good as these top 10 in UFC?
Not many, yeah.
There ain't many, so you can still have an amazing career and not quite be champion. It doesn't mean you've had a shit career or you've not achieved what you want.
Well, he did already, didn't he?
Look at Dustin Poirier, for example. He's your prime example of that, isn't it? You know, I mean, to have an outstanding career but not be an undisputed champion. The guy's going to be an Hall of Famer but never won a belt. You know,
if you get nestled in that top bloody 15 at lightweight division, you're some fucking fighter, that's for sure.
That's it. Yeah,
there's been killers in that division for a long time.
That's it. So that Jeff Neil Magny, you're laughing. That's it.
So with that being said, then do you think then Bobby Green is his toughest challenge yet? Yes, I think it is, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
Oh, you would have, if you know what, a couple of years ago, you would have said Tony Ferguson, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
He were the.
Yeah, but Tony Ferguson, how is he? 41 now? What is he?
About 93.
Yeah, probably.
He went man in lightweight division at one point, Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Overall, Ferguson's going to be remembered as a better fighter than Bobby Green, isn't he? But right now, at this moment in time,
Bobby Green is a better fighter.
He's a tougher opponent than Tony.
Yes. 2 guns on him. Honestly, Jesus Christ, those hands.
Yeah, they are, and like I say, he's good to watch, and he himself had a good win over Tony Ferguson, didn't he, just before Paddy?
Yeah.
You know, it's high.
But yeah, all round it's an entertaining fight. I mean, Manchester fans will love that. Imagine Paddy coming out to that scounce bounce, and then that screwball walking out after him. It's like
about fucking 5 o'clock in the morning. Which, by the way, Chris has got something to say about.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah, go on, Chris.
I'll step on your toes.
Unload.
You can unload on that.
it's
mate.
a disgrace, isn't it?
It is a fucking disgrace.
Price at tickets. We're just getting going with this podcasting game. We've got 5 pence to scratch his arse with. We can't afford to go. And on top of that, it's in middle at night.
It's absolutely
It's like,
fucking.
fuck, come on, man.
Do you know what? Even Bisbin had to say something about that. I was listening to Bisbin on his podcast or YouTube channel, whatever. He said basically his DMs were crashing. There were that many people complaining about it, but he's not the man to to complain to.
Same with Adam Catchell, wasn't it? They were blaming him.
As influential as Bisping and Catterall are, I don't think they decided what time these fucking events were going down, mate. No, that was fully Dana White.
Yeah, it's
and I'm sure they've got the reasons, but like you say, Chris,
well,
it's
the reason is
fucking
pay-per-view, but it's bullshit for us. Yeah,
it is for fun. Yeah, and I don't like the fact that we're getting priced out. I mean, obviously it's going to be slightly more expensive than normal UFC.
Yeah, it only comes a couple of times a year.
When it's free,
cheapest
300,
ticket.
500.
What was it? Cheapest ticket, 166 quid, wasn't it?
More than that.
Face value is one thing, but you've got to be on ball to get them, haven't you?
Yeah.
If you're looking at them now,
I think the face value was 166.
There was no chance of getting
yeah.
them. I just think that a lot of proper MMA fans have been priced out.
Yeah, I agree. There's going to be a lot of people.
No, that's
there.
true, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of fucking fancy dons. There'll be a lot of fucking footballers and that there and stuff like that don't really give a shit. They're there because it'll be a photo op and stuff and it's in Manchester or whatever. But yeah, real MMA fans are being priced out and it is bullshit. And the times, I don't think it'll affect the atmosphere at all. In Manchester, you guys have been to a Manchester event before.
We saw Bisbin against Henderson, yeah.
And when it was same at American times.
And that was same, yeah. What time Bisbin came on? It was like 4 a.m. or 5 a.m.
4 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I think ticket then were what? I think
60
it was like
quid,
60, 70 quid. So
you were not bad at all.
That's all right, that, isn't it? You can do that. I mean, let's be right. I mean, the people that are laughing the bollocks off at fucking gear dealers around Manchester, that fucking neat, innit? You know what I mean? Them guys are going to be having one hell of a night, mate.
Cubicles will be full, that's for sure.
That's it. Weekend rock stars are going to be in there.
I'm wondering what to say that or not, but you can say it if you want. It was that funny, honestly.
Yeah, because Rich were driving, I had a few beers, I was busting for the toilet, and they were queuing down bloody alley. I thought, what's going on here? So, like, honestly, I walked past them all, and they're all queuing for cubicles. I think they'd all been to a curry house first.
I went for a piss or empty.
What's going on?
Cubicles were full. Everyone was banging.
You know what, though? 2 minutes wait. I must admit, though, after I was knackered next day, and would it worth going? 100%. Atmosphere were there were a lot of pissheads, don't get me wrong, but it was brilliant atmosphere.
I just don't understand why they've took that step back, because if you look at all London events and that last year, it were all in British time. You know what I mean?
It's just strictly for the American pay-per-view audience.
It must have took a dip when they did them all in British time last year.
That's what happened. I think I think it was Bisping who said it. I think they did like a trial one, with Usman the other year, and it in America it completely plateaued. They were next to
and we had this conversation before. It's £25 for pay-per-view in here. In America, it's $80.
Yeah.
The difference is wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's mind-boggling.
Imagine if they do 1 million tickets.
And I suppose
they won't. Sorry, pay-per-views, but they won't do 1 million. I wouldn't have thought. I would
they probably will now. You know. What?
America, I don't know, because it's very British heavy in it. Is this guy?
Yeah, but Curtis Blade's a big deal in America.
Yeah, he's a big fight.
Balal is a big deal in America.
Yeah, and people will watch Paddy and Tom as well. To be fair, right? You know what I mean? Their stars.
Bobby Green, he's known in America.
I just think even if they do 500,000 pay-per-views,
I think they'll do 1 million. I really do.
500,000 pay-per-views at what, $80 each. So
that's million pay-per-views, from around the world, so it's everywhere. So it's probably will be let's call it 80% will be America, so that will be $80 each. Then the rest will be UK and Europe, which is 25 quid or 25 euros.
Yeah.
And then some probably will be Australia, but that will be Australian dollars, so that will be again
from their
whatever.
point of view, they're going to sell out. They're going to make an absolute fortune. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, I suppose if you look at it from their point of view, but it's a fucking booming sport, and you'd think you'd cater for you'd want to try and get your other audiences up to par with American audiences. That's the point of doing it at their times, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It just sucks. It's just something we've got to accept.
It is. If you're into this sport, you're going to accept that you're going to be fucking watching it through middle at night and doing a fucking tired-eyed review after it, which sometimes is a struggle.
Sometimes it's a struggle. Once we didn't even do it, we just left, got up and left, all of
us. Sometimes we probably shouldn't have done it, but
yeah.
That is what it is. But it is what it is, and they and UFC have decided that it's going on US time, and we'll all get up for it because we love the sport, don't we? You know what I mean? It's not end of world, but it's also not ideal. So sort your fuck yourselves out.
Dana.
That's it. So yeah, that's Paddy the Baddy and King Bobby Green. So we'll move on to the next fight, which is Manchester's own via Dagestan, Mohamed Mokaev, taking on the mouthy little Portuguese guy that we previously were talking about in Mano Cap. It's going to be an interesting fight, isn't it?
Yep.
It definitely is, yeah.
It is. Mo, he's coming into this. Everybody thought, well, Mo himself, he wanted that opportunity to become the youngest UFC champion and beating John Jones, but that time has now passed on it. I think he had to do that by end of last year. If he would have had a fight, it would have been obviously Pantoja that he'd have had to fight and get that to beat John Jones' record at youngest UFC fighter at 23-year-old. He is now is Mo. He ain't got that. He ain't had that opportunity. But if he puts away Mano Cap this weekend, he's certainly got to be up there scrapping for the next one. He's at least got to be in that little triumphant of Moreno, Royval, and Pantoja that all seem to just fight each other all the time. He's got to be breaking into that little league himself, hasn't he, as Mo, if he gets through this fight.
I think he will, and he's got time on his hands, hasn't he?
Yeah,
some of his performances, he's stuttered and he's come through adversity. When he got knee barred and
I'll never forget
his bloody leg was bent all the way. I wouldn't tap to that. He's extraordinary.
He's
got no tap in him. That's convinced me he will never tap.
I'm sure he fought about 6 months later. Maybe even it's like
it might have been. You might be right. I remember something about that. But anyway, this fight, I think the problem with this fight is stylistically it's not matching at all, isn't it? Striker, really a strike against grappler.
It's complete opposites.
I would argue,
it's
the question of whether he's going to take him down. If he's taking him down, it's into his favor. But
he'll definitely try to take him down.
Otherwise, I think he might have problems really because
he's undefeated still as well, Mo.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I mean, he got like say he got close with that knee bar thing. He managed to come through that and turn that fight around.
He didn't just turn it around. He submitted him.
He turned it around and beat him. Yeah, it was unbelievable, that one.
I like Mo.
I just wish we Mo.
That was that Jaffel Phil Hull, wasn't it?
Yeah. We obviously back him and stuff, and his incredible talent.
He's a very stoic person, isn't he?
I just wish he'd just mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
To like an average fan, or when you're just seeing somebody shoot over and over again, it's like fucking hell.
Yeah.
Obviously he can strike, but when he's doing it as well, it's not like he's in trouble on feet. It's just what he chooses to do. So it's a bit frustrating.
But if you choose to do,
say there's a fight going on and you're getting caught on feet or whatever, then you usually revert back to what you're good at, which is obviously he's wrestling and grappling. Mm-hmm. But he seems to be he's too wrestle and grapple heavy.
Yeah, but does that mean he's too uncomfortable being on feet, or what does that mean really?
It points to that, mate. Yeah, of course it does. It points to that. And
if you're doing it even without even trying to stand, because you have to be entertained. Everyone understands you have to be entertaining.
Yeah.
And if you're choosing, are you uncomfortable being on your to strike with somebody? You don't think maybe your striking game is up to their level?
Maybe needs to be sort of doing opposite to what when Adam Bramall was sat here with us a few weeks ago. Opposite to what he says, he don't really practice his striking anymore because he thinks he's sort of capped out on that. Don't he? He's training, his grappling, his wrestling and stuff like that to become an all-rounded fighter.
Maybe
I'm sure Mo is doing that, you know what I mean? But maybe we need to start seeing it in Octagon, I guess.
But now he's coming up against a really good striker, so...
Well, he's getting right to the top end at division, you know what I mean? And that's a division that I've been impressed with how much it's moved in the last couple of years, because if you think a couple of years ago, it seemed to be just Moreno fighting Figueiredo.
Yeah,
they had 5 fights.
That division.
They were good fights.
They were good fights, but there were 5 of them.
In that division, it just seemed to be only people that were fighting. It were like that was their own division, and that were it. But now you've got a lot more people coming through.
What a quick question: do you think he's going to be a champion at some point?
Mo?
Yeah,
I think he'll be champion by the end of this year. Me.
Yeah.
I think that's a tall order, but
Where's he ranked?
I don't know.
Is he ranked?
He's number 6 at minute. Pantoja's supposed to be taking a bit of time out, but yeah, Pantoja just got he struggled in his last fight against that Steve Erceg, did Pantoja. He only just got through that. And
But do you think it's because he's too active?
yeah, maybe he needs to take some time out.
Yeah.
Since he's won belt, he's been active. He's been very active as Pantoja. And let's say this division, it's moved. We've got like Kai Kara France who's coming through. Tatsuro Taira for me. That Japanese kid who fought over week, he looks really impressive. He might stand in Mo's way. He looks totally different to anybody else I've seen. He's got these own fucking moves that he does, and he reckons that other people
Knockout
can't do
power, everything. He has everything.
I'm excited about him, and I think he's currently like number 5, just behind Mo. So that might stumble him a bit, but I just think this flyweight division, it's starting to get a bit exciting there. I mean, Cara France don't fight that much, but he's a good fighter. He's had his back and forth with Manel Cap as well, so if Manel Cap tries to get through this, I'm sure that's a fight that should have been made before, didn't get done. Manel Cap's ranked number 8 at minute. If he beats Mo, he's going to be up there in top 5, sort of 6. And I'm starting to like look at this flyweight division, to be fair. It was one that I kind of dismissed for a while, for a couple of years.
Didn't it?
I think everyone did for a while.
You've got Brandon Royval as well. He's been at top end of that. He's ranked number 1 at the minute.
Yeah,
he's been in around that. He's fought most of the top guys as well.
Let's say that little triumphant of Marino, Royval, and Pantoja. It looks like it's gonna get infiltrated soon by some of these guys.
As well, that's Erceg, who fought for the title.
Right.
In Brazil, wasn't it? Did he step in at last minute?
Yeah, he fought 301, wasn't it, in Brazil?
Pantoja,
he struggled to beat him, man.
It was really close. It was split decision, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
He's ranked 9, so I tell you what, for sure that division.
Yeah,
There's a lot of depth in that division. There's a lot of fights you can make there.
I think they might have made that fight, if I'm remembering right. Erceg and Kai Kara France I think they might have been matched up for the next fight, to be fair, against each other.
Thing is about Pantoja, I think he really needs a
break.
break. I think he's a better fighter than what he showed last time. It's just he's too active.
Who's that, sorry?
Pantoja.
Yeah.
I think he's just too active.
Yeah,
he's
I think
too
you've got
busy.
something there. He had a lot of fights in last year. So
He just needs a break. Take even 6 months, a year off if you have to, and then regroup and then come back.
Moreno's on. He's taking a bit of a bloody break.
Yeah.
I love that kid Moreno. I'm so happy when he becomes champion. Honestly, I love his style and everything about him. Little cheeky smile.
Like you say, it's that little cheeky smile. Looks like a 10-year-old kid, doesn't he? It's like, how is he such a badass fighter? That, you know, when you see his body, he just does that. He's like, hey, hello. He's just like, oh, Brandon.
Sound like you want to put him to bed, mate, and tuck him in.
Yeah, he'll fuck me up in 2 ways. Jesus Christ. but it's like that, though, isn't it? It's mad. Yeah. It's mad. But yeah, Mo Mokaev versus Manel Cap. As we say, I'm not sure Mo's going to get that involved in press conference, but I know for a fact Manel Cap will be. And I think him and Paddy might end up bouncing off each other for a bit, and that will be funny. And it will be entertaining to watch. For sure. All right, we'll quickly go over onto the opening fight of the main card, which is a guy who I'm personally a big fan of. He's had a couple of bad losses in his last couple of fights in Arnold Almighty Allen. I love this guy. I love his fight style. I love the fact that he just goes out there and, much like fighters like Gaethje and Holloway and stuff like that, just fights with his fucking face and goes out there and just swings and swings until he knocks somebody out or somebody knocks him out. And he went on an excellent run in UFC. 10 wins, I think it was, until he came up against Max. And then Max did what Max does. He beat him. What a decision. He didn't knock him out. He didn't knock him out. It was a decision. And then after that, he came up against Movsar Evelev, who is a guy who's making his way quite impressively through that featherweight division as well.
I tell you what, though, if you want to mention a guy that don't get many finishes.
Evelev.
Wow.
Yeah,
that is extraordinary.
Yeah, he's another one a bit like.
And he's ranked where? Where is he ranked now?
Oh, Evelev.
Yeah.
He'll be probably around 7.
Is it?
Something like that in that featherweight division. There, it's a stacked division, that featherweight division, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's hard to get up there. Up to Ilya Topuria, Alex Volkanovski, and Yair Rodriguez, Brian Ortega. There's fucking loads of them in there. Like in there, I mean, it's my favourite division. Is that division? I like it. We've got Diego Lopez and that is coming up there for. We'll get onto, but yeah,
he's a fan favourite.
He is. Anos fighting Giga Chikadze. Nailed it.
Who was that?
I'm not going to nail it twice.
Yeah.
It's not your mum.
That's what you've been doing with women. That's what you've been doing with women recently, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
If you're listening, he has got the same number.
If you're listening, DMs. No, I'm only kidding. But yes, Giga Chikadze, he's a good fighter. He's no stranger to fight at night. He's had plenty of them. It's a good opponent for Arnold Allen. Arnold Allen's currently at number 6. Chikadze's at number 10. You know, it's not going to be an easy fight for Allen. I do fancy him to get back in W column after a couple of losses. You know, you can forgive anybody for losing to Max Holloway, can't you?
Yeah.
But you know,
and Everlev's on is it a 15-fight win streak?
Something
So
like
it's
that.
really-
What Rich was saying just before when he says, I think Arnold Allen might have hit his ceiling,
yeah,
and that's a good point. He might have done, but
I think he might have. Yeah.
he's 30 years old now. He's got a couple of years to have another go at these guys that he's lost at, and you never know.
Well,
I think Yair would be a good fight for him. Yair Rodriguez would be a good fight for him. It'd get him back into that. It'd get him back into that sort of group right at top as well. If he
I think
took
Holloway's
a scalp
never
like
going
I
back
actually
down.
think this
is
is
he?
a good fight for him as well because Chikadze, I think he's lost 2 of his last 3,
Mm.
and Arnold Allen, he was a prospect, wasn't he? His run was unbelievable, wasn't it?
10 unbeaten, yeah.
10 unbeaten at UFC.
Very, very good run.
Yeah, until he come up against Max, like.
Yeah, he held his-
Madly, that would a fight night as well.
He held his
Oh,
own as well,
that's
didn't he, against Max?
Yeah, he did. Oh, yeah, very
Well,
much.
yeah,
very
yeah.
close
Puts it
fight.
into a perspective, doesn't it, when you see what Max did to Gaethje, and then Allen held his own against him. I know,
Yeah.
like we said, MMA maths don't always work, but it does give you a slight indication, doesn't it?
But to me, that gave indication that Max, he was in the wrong division for a decade. He should have
Maybe.
been in lightweight division this whole time.
He moved up
Really.
before, didn't he? But Poirier beat him.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's going to fight Topuria, and maybe in September, and then if he beats Topuria, I think he'll just go straight up for champ status. Way anyway, Max he'll be wanting to look at Islam then. Like, if he beats Topuria, of course, Topuria is a badass himself.
Yeah, but Max has I don't know what is it titanium chin or something? I don't know what that chin is made of, but Jesus
Yeah, he's
Christ.
still down on record as not being dropped.
Yeah.
He's made a pixie
But
dust and
he's
fucking
come out on
jealousy.
Joe Rogan's show and he says, I did get dropped. Gaethje did drop me.
Oh, yeah, but
Yeah, he
he
came
was very
out-
clear. He dropped him, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course he did, yeah. Because I remember saying
He
yeah,
was
it's first
very,
time
very
he'd been
clear he dropped him.
Yeah.
Not as clear as it was that fucking Max dropped Gaethje at end, like,
Fucking hell.
which I've still got a bit of blood in my dick from that. To be fair,
It's
been a couple of months now, and it's still fucking awesome. But
You know what? It took some recovery. Just quickly before we move on to prediction, it took some recovering that UFC 300.
Yeah.
It's greatest combat sporting event I've ever seen in my life.
It was fucking
It was
insane.
all
I
the
can't
card.
believe people were saying that it wasn't all
The
that. And
card
I'm like,
fuck. Oh,
what
mate,
do you mean
did
it's not all
did
that?
live up to expectation?
they were
man.
awesome.
How many times in sports or whatever sport it is, there's 2 like giants coming to
Yeah.
face off and it doesn't live up to expectations like in a Euro final
All
or
the
World
time.
Cup or in a boxing match.
Yeah.
When you're waiting months and months for it and it happens and it's like it's such like an anticlimax. That delivered on so many fucking different levels.
It
Did
did.
that?
It did.
Yeah, that
299 were
yeah.
great. 300 were fucking amazing, and then it were all
Yeah, mate,
amplified by the
I
fact
thought
that
2
301 were bobbins, and it just made
Yeah,
it look.
yeah, it did. I
fucking
thought
much-
299 were fuck me, mate.
They
They were
were.
fucking outstanding. And UFC 300 people were saying that's a better card. We did an earlier podcast and like dived into it a bit more and like compared them a little bit, and it didn't quite stack up to 300, but people were saying it was a better card, which we didn't think so.
No.
But how both of them cards lived up to expectations on that level.
they were unbelievable.
Knockouts, finishes, it were
Yeah.
oh mate, it were fucking beautiful.
It was great, and we are hoping that this coming weekend in Manchester, with all the cream of the crop of the English British fighters up there, there's some more on there that we haven't obviously spoke about today. Molly McCann's on there. I think whose ladder was at top at prelims that fought Jack. What's his name? Jack. Something that were fighting with.
Jack.
He got offered.
I don't have my phone on here, Chris.
Yeah, Bramall. He got offered to fight with Bramall before, didn't he? Jack Shaw.
Oh, Jack Shaw, yeah.
Jack Shaw,
Right.
that's the one,
Yeah, Jack Shaw, yeah.
Jack Shaw, yeah, he's fighting on there as well. I think he's on preliminary card as well. So there's a lot of fighters on there, and we're hoping this is going to get somewhere up to the standard of 299 and 300. It's going to be a tall order to
Sure,
do that.
atmosphere will live up to it.
Oh yeah, the British people know how to fucking throw a party, man. We know how to get it on, even if it is 3 while 6. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
3 while 6 main card.
3 while 6.
In Manchester.
Oh.
Right, yeah. So we will move on to some predictions. Why
We
not?
start bottom, we've just left.
Yeah, we'll start at the bottom.
I'll go first if you want.
Go for it.
I think it's pretty much, in my opinion, a must win. He's kind of got to get his finger at Arnold Allen.
I agree.
I think he will as well.
And I've tipped him to win on points. I just think he'll get it done with crowd behind him. Chikadze is no one to be looked over, that's for sure. You know, he's lost 2 of his last 3, but he's a great striker. He's had a lot of, I don't know if it's karate, kickbox. He's got shitloads of experience in striking department.
Yeah.
But I just think Allen will get it done via a points decision.
With it being in this country as well, I fancy him and all to get back into that W column. What about you, Rich? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking the same. I'd actually, I think they almost picked him that fight as well.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
He needs a win.
Right. I think it's a good matchup
Yeah,
for him.
there you go.
He does need a win. He needs to get back into that, and I, for one, certainly hope he does. Because I say he's one of my favourite fighters. He's just great to watch. Like he's not that entertaining.
He's a super nice guy as well.
Yeah, he's a very calm,
just,
super nice guy, like you say. But his fighting style's great to watch. It really is. Mo Mokaev, man of the cap. Where are we going with this, Rich?
I think this is a little bit difficult to answer this.
I've
Like
cha-
I said,
I've changed my
stylistically,
mind
this
on
is horrible.
I wrote
This.
something down earlier and I've changed it.
Stylistically, it's not great. It's whether he's going to be able to take him down or not. If he takes him down, he'll win or on points or submit him. Otherwise, he'll lose. I'm just being completely honest. Like you say, he's a nasty little fucker. So
He is.
and he's a really good striker, and he's really fast, really fast. He has a really good left hook.
Off the top of my head, I don't think he's far off double figures in finishing department cap. So
Tell you what, his last fight that he managed to get out to Manel Cap, he fought a last minute standing called Felipe dos Santos,
Yeah,
and it was a fucking great fight.
was that Charles Oliveira's
on that card with
what, in
Charles, I
Australia?
think. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he trained at the same camp as Charles.
Yeah,
didn't he?
that's right.
And
Yeah.
I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's still in UFC. If he got given a contract, he absolutely should have done, because that fight against Manel Cap that he had in Brazil, like, it was a fucking great fight. He put up there, and even Cap, a mouthy little fucker that he is, who would normally stand over his opponent, giving it all shit, he will like congratulating him because he'd done for his UFC debut. And I was looking forward to seeing him again, but I haven't seen him since. I wonder if he gave him a contract.
He might have been on an undercard somewhere, might he?
Maybe, yeah.
yeah.
But again, I think I'd like to see a bit more from Mo on feet, and surely he has been training, a bit more stand up.
You'd hope so to get
But
to get to the top of any.
I hope he wins, and I'll be honest, I picked Cap originally, but the more I think about it, I think Mo, again with home support, is undefeated. He's got age on his side. He might have improved over the last so many months with his striking department. So I fancy him to win on points as well.
Yeah, so let's do that. And I'll say the same. Yeah. Well, I don't even think. Points. I'll go same points.
I'm gonna go for Mo to sub him. Late in third round, late in fight. Well, I'm gonna back Mo to sub him.
Yep.
Back Mo, get him down and sub him, because he's just got no tap. I mean, unless he gets knocked clean out, obviously.
Which could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Paddy Pimlet, King Green. Are we going forward calling him King, or are we calling him Bobby and fucking?
Might as well just call him King.
That's his name, mate. That's his name, isn't it?
Yep.
I suppose, mate. Yeah, King Green, Paddy Pimlet.
King Kanye, innit? KK.
Careful. Two's all right.
Yeah, two's all right.
KK. I've just got what you mean now. I'm thinking of something else. I thought you were going down a different avenue with that then.
I was just waiting for the third one, KK.
Leave that to Ramones, mate. But anyway, Paddy Pimlet against Bobby King Green. I'll go on this one. I think Paddy, myself, I've got a little soft spot for Paddy. I just think he's funny as shit, man. Even though, Scousers and all that. And this week you were fucking cheering Spain beating England in fucking final as well.
I don't like that.
No, I don't like
I hope
that.
fucking King Mo fucking bat.
King Mo?
That's another fighter, King Mo. Yeah, sorry.
But no, I think Paddy's going him to beat Bobby Green and get himself into that rankings. I hope he does. I hope that he plays his own game, because I think Paddy's been a bit of a victim to wanting to get that walk-off knockout and stuff like that, instead of playing to his own strengths and playing to his grappling background and to what he's good at. I think he's wanted to come out and put on a show for people, for UFC, and show that he's here and all that, which is nothing wrong with doing. But when you're starting to get up to business end and getting into rankings, I think you need to fucking concentrate on doing what you're good at fucking doing, and not doing it for views.
Yeah.
For me, I'm pretty sure his injury, he'll be injury free and he'll have cleared up. After speaking to one of his training partners, I think he's got his eye on ball, and he said his weight's come down a hell of a lot earlier than it has in past. So that's on point.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, his camp's gone really well, and from bits I've seen. So yeah, I fancy him to. You know what? I would say this is his hardest fight. Like we were talking earlier, this is 100% his hardest fight on paper as well.
And I don't think any of us would be surprised.
But yeah, I'm hoping. I think Paddy will get it done by sub.
I think sub. Yeah, second round sub for me. Rich. Paddy hater.
I want to go for Paddy, but I'm not sure. I think I'll go 50-50 on this one.
You're going for a draw.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going for a draw. I'm just not sure who's going to win. I just can't pick one.
Just staying right firmly on that fence, mate.
Get a fiver on draw, Rich. You'll be fucking
I don't think it'll be a draw, but
just not sure.
I just don't. Yeah, I'm just generally not sure who's going to win. It's just too hard to
call.
You know
what? For me, this fight and the previous one are
closest to one night.
Yeah.
Could for sure go either way. I won't be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a coupon buster, isn't it?
Yeah,
it
for
is.
Sure.
It is. It is. Big Tom Aspinall, the undisputed heavyweight champion.
Yeah, we'll go for Aspinall.
There's no point in asking me.
Yeah, Aspinall 100%.
I'll ask Richard's saying Aspinall 100%.
Yeah,
Aspinall's fucking lover and stalker is saying Aspinall 100%, and I think he walked through Curtis Blades in round 1 myself.
Yeah, that's right. I've written down here first round TKO.
I think it's another fucking.
I think it'll be. I think the question is then we should go not for who's gonna win in what round. I think it'll be second. I don't think it'll be first round.
I think round 1.
I
don't think there's a man alive that can fucking do a full round with Aspinall.
I don't think he'll try. I think he'll just stay away from him.
Honestly,
I think it'll be sub a minute and a half. I think it'll be under that, and he'll knock him out.
I think second round.
Yeah,
I'll do second round.
I think it'll be mid first round, mid to late.
I'll say second round.
That's it. That's on. Good. Main event. Leon.
Absolutely, Leon as well.
Not bothered about that, are we?
We'll all be asleep by then. Fucking 6 o'clock in the morning. It's in Manchester.
Yeah. An hour away.
Manchester, England.
An hour away.
You go first, Rich.
You can actually do it in 50 minutes if you know.
You can, mate. I've done it all the time to football.
I know.
Especially at late night when you're coming back and you can get your boat down.
It's an hour away.
How many points
can't afford to go. Can't somebody sponsor us so we can go?
Can somebody sponsor me so I can pay me fucking speeding fines?
Yeah. He needs to pay off his speeding fines first.
I'll change my driving style. That might be the best thing to do, Rich. Right?
Yeah.
It's a bit safer for everyone.
So anyway, on to main one.
Belal and Leon.
Rich?
Yeah, I'll say Leon, yeah.
I think Leon's going to take him as well. I think he'll march on. I think it's his next fight that's going to be his big test rather than this one.
Yeah, I actually think it's going to be
I think it's more.
I think it's got points all over it. I'd be shocked, honestly.
Belal is
my
a big boy as
words,
well,
I would be shocked if there's a stoppage.
I'd probably, if I were putting money, I'd probably go distance myself, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he'll go the distance.
But yeah, hopefully Leon gets enough of them kicks and punches and all that shit in to take it.
Just last thing, I just want to see more of Leon.
Yeah,
quality,
more regularly. You mean? You want
yeah,
to see him fight more opponents, more regularly.
Do you know? I was gonna say that
it's a well-deserved matchup for Belal. He's been waiting forever and a day.
Yeah, he's deserved his shot, man. Yeah, he's been waiting. I mean, he could have fought a few more people while he's been waiting, but he has been waiting for his opportunity, and he's confident that he's going to get it, isn't he? He's Belal. He's confident.
But no, like I say, you want to see more of Leon. Do you think the reason he's that good as well that he doesn't fight all the time? He takes like one fight a year. He rather prepares or over prepares for the fight than just jumps into the fights half prepared.
Who knows, mate? Who knows? It could be.
Because every single fight he fought for, he was really, really prepared, wasn't he? Always.
It definitely seems to be recently.
If you look at his resume, you can't knock him, can you?
Yeah.
It's just that for me, I'm not a champion, as a champion. For him as a champion, I just think he likes him. I mean, look at Pereira, what he's doing. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Well,
what Pereira is doing, that's just...
If you look at Leon's last
3 or 4 times a year.
Leon's last 3 fights
because he doesn't get hurt. He barely gets hurt.
Well, I'm not sure if Leon suffers that many injuries. Obviously, they get niggles and obviously they'll be injured at some point. But I'm just not sure if it's like if he's just. I don't know. If he likes,
Solid,
he likes going back to Jamaica and chilling out for a few months or what. His brother's fighting for the belt again in PFL. So I'm not sure. I don't know. As a fan, though, strictly as a fan, I'd want to see more of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. I'd like to see him
Some
fight
years
more.
he's fought once, and it's like, and fighters want to fight, don't they? So I don't know. There's probably something within
Taylor
that.
Swift.
Knock one out. I mean, the song.
Fighters want to fight. Can you shake it off?
Shake you in a minute, you prick.
No, sorry, mate. That's good. But yeah, no, I mean, I've just read it here as well. I forgot he actually got a fucking point deducted against fucking Usman in his second fight, didn't he? And still won it on points, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was 4-1 rounds up, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely dumb. I mean, we've actually got it before we get our heads down. We've got to touch on that, haven't we?
Yeah.
How impressive he was in that rematch. Because the head shot dead, he was 4 rounds down.
Yeah.
Going into the last round, it was game over.
I went nearly 2 years ago, that, you know.
And in rematch, he pretty much dominated Usman.
Yeah, but I always said that.
All round domination.
I'm taking nothing away from Liam here. But Usman came back too fast. He should have left it another 2, 3, 4 months. Come back 6 months later rather than 2 months later. That 2 months later caused him that fight. I'm not saying he would have won, but maybe he would have done a lot better than he actually did. Yeah. I think he should have taken a longer break.
From his point of view, though, he was formidable champion, one of the longest reigning welterweight champions in history.
Pound for pound number one.
Pound for pound number one, and you've basically dominated Edwards for 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Then you get head kicked, so it's like, in your mind, obviously, your body needs more than a few months to recover.
Yeah.
It was a good shot. It's just behind you there, Chris. Look at it. It's a fucking good shot, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Go on, Rocky.
Yeah, these are signed. We're auctioning them, actually, if anybody wants to.
Yeah, bidding starts at a pence. Crack on.
Then when it goes towards the tickets for Manchester.
For fucking parking cars for some. Yeah, anyway, so that rounds up our little preview show of UFC 304 in Manchester. Hope you've stayed tuned in for this long. Hopefully you like and subscribe and share and all that stuff. We need to get them numbers up, people. Let's start getting paid. Come on, if you appreciate the show. Spread the word. We'd appreciate that, the hell out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully this is going to be up there with one of the good cards that we've already had this year, as we spoke about earlier on, and the ones that are still to come. We've got a good fight card in August, and we've got a great one looking at the Noche one at the Sphere in September. The rumoured fights for that are looking great, none least than Ilya Tapori and Max Holloway, that everybody in the whole fucking world
Can't
should
wait
get
for
on.
that. Oh my god.
That fight will be just crazy bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, thank you very much for listening to us. As I say, follow us, like us, subscribe to us all, and we will see you on the other side of Manchester and UFC 304. So, from me, Matt.
Chris. Thank you very much, guys. See ya. Bye.
Good night.